Paltrocast.
Stephen, aside from being busy today, the people asking you the same questions over and over again, good day for you so far?
Yeah, and I'll start over here. Okay, yeah. Actually having a great day. And I'm actually, I love when I get questions that are of the aren't of the norm,
Well, I'm going to ask you a bunch of those after we plug the box set, the Atlantic Years box set, which is how we were connected. Oh, you have it right there.
Now, we have it right here, and this thing is a ton of fun.
Right. Well, I see you're wearing a Mark Weiss book t-shirt. Is there any Mark Weiss photography in that box set?
There might be, it's a possibility, but it's more of a personal archive photo thing. I pretty much gave what I thought Robin would like. And I mean, I have thousands and thousands of photos, and I actually wanted that to be a major part of the box set, is to have a montage, collage, of stuff nobody's seen. And everybody in the band actually had a hand in. Like I say, I thought Robin would like, I put in there, everybody gave him their own personal photos, which was good. It said something there that they dig it, at least,
Ratt's Behind the Music was distinct from most of the others in that you actually had home video footage in there. Most Behind the Musics, it didn't seem like people were filming all those years. Now that you mentioned everyone contributing photographs, it seems like the camera was always running for Ratt, the recorder was always running, hence why we're still getting unreleased stuff 30-ish years after this box set ended.
Well, I'll tell you what, yeah, of course, and ironically, it's 40 years this year for Ratt, the OG guys, which nobody really thought about. As we were putting this together, it took months to put this together, and it comes out June 9th. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy. So there's a decent amount of everybody's personality in here because of the fact that I was taking pictures day one. I'm just one of those kind of people. And, having to do with the lyrics, everything. If I rewrite something, I'm going to save the original. If I take a photo, I'm going to have 2 of those, 3 of those. If I get something, I'm going to have 2 of them, So it helped putting this together,
So even though you have all the old stuff, and this is a compliment, this is going to be a compliment, warning.
Sure.
You always seem to have pushed the ball forward. Like you didn't want to live in the past. You didn't want to go, that was the best thing I've done. Hence why we continually see you on the road. You've never had really slow years of touring or recording.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just more of a driven individual. When I get into something and I commit to something, I'm really never satisfied because I'm always writing. Hence, there's a guitar in every room, every corner, right? Because I've come up with something. I think it's just my nature personally that I like to, because if you tell me no, it can't be done, or if I find out, some things, negative directed my way in something I find so easy to accomplish, I'll accomplish it, is to do it, just to piss somebody off. But, hence, like when I re-record songs like the Duran, I did it as a tongue in cheek. I mean, because I can do it like that, and then Christy will put a video together. I mean, it's crazy what we do in our compound, Top Fuel Entertainment, Yeah, I'm just a driven individual. I love writing still. I even when I pull out of touring, which is probably going to be soon enough, we have projects in line that will continually give to where I came from, the 1980s Sunset Strip experience, give you that experience,
Right. So to add a compliment onto that compliment, based on your productivity and the fact that you're doing interviews, I think that anyone who ever said, well, Ratt's not happening because of Stephen is 100% wrong, because you've always been working.
Yeah, well, yeah, that is true. Unlike some of my guys. Yeah. But that's okay. Some of them don't need to now. Yeah. Back then, they might have needed to. Who knows? Who knows? But everybody teach his own. The guys in Ratt. I mean, God bless Robin. Uh, you know, I can only do so much. You know, as I did. I created this band, Ratt, from Mickey Ratt, and there are a lot of other people involved before the OG guys that really had to bust their ass in Hollywood when I moved there in 1980.
Yeah.
January 1, 1980, to all of a sudden at the end of the day go, hey, you did something. You know, you took your band up to LA because because Eddie, you know, I had a fortune enough to meet him in 78 at Van Halen, and I saw the whole schematic of their rise, you know, to being not just this huge band, you know, how they created their big rock, and I went, you know, it's going to take work. And if it's my band, I started and wrote the first EPs, all Mickey Ratt songs, except for me and Robin, you know, with You Think You're Tough, and some others, a few songs. You know, it's an interesting thing, but I can deal with it because like I say, you have to have some kind of passion, you know. I mean, and integrity, you know, it's like, I would love to go, hey, guess what? It's the 40th year anniversary of this box set. There's a reunion. It's not going to happen, you know, not with two original guys in the band. And nobody even knows who my other guy is because he looks like he came from another element, you know, not the Ratt and roll schematic I created. You know, and without Robin, it's just not, you know, it doesn't seem feasible. We tried it. You know, I'm out there representing not only the Sunset Strip experience, but the history of this band I created, Ratt, you know, and co-wrote songs for. I'm proud of it. I love it. You know, we should have you know, give it some respect, you know, and integrity, because we busted our asses, you know, all the guys. But the reason I can do what I do is because I want to. You know, I don't have to wait on anybody. I don't have to wait on their songs or their co-writes. I can just say, what do you got? I'll take it from there. And unfortunately, that can't happen, or they're incapable now or unable to. Who knows the reasoning why? And I really don't question it because like I say, I'm out on the road, embracing this and supporting the box set, and telling the world of how way cool that whole scene was and how we accomplished this box set feat. It was not easy, you know. People think, those 80s guys, they become huge and, you know, and life is good. No, there's a lot of ass busting going down that continues to this day. Yeah, well, with us, which is unfortunate. Yeah.
Tying into that, so I had the pleasure of speaking with you about a year ago when I started writing a book about David Lee Roth, and you gave me interesting insight into that. And then speaking to one of the OG Ratt members, Dave Jellison, he knows more about Van Halen and David Lee Roth hands-on than anybody. So when I put all that together, and I put together some of the lies that Beau Hill has kind of spread about bands he's produced, it makes me think that if there was a Ratt documentary that covered everything, we may not know half the story at least.
You're correct. And it's been that way since day one. You know, we were a different thing than Motley Crue, you know, and Wasp, our peers that really created that scene, Van Halen, Quiet Riot, even Armored Saint, or you name it, the real guys, right? 1980, 81, 82, 83, 84. It stops there, 85. After that, you got a whole new bunch of goofs coming into town trying to say, we're from here, this is this.
Right.
But, you know, no. And I'm kind of setting that story straight these days because, you know what? Look how it never died. It never went away. It just got oversaturated and people got tired of it. You talk to these kids, or I mean, these audiences from like the 90s and even the 2000s. They're going, where the hell is this kind of 80s music? Where's it been? You know, this is great. It smokes what we've been listening to, what we've been force fed in the 90s. Granted, great bands came out of those eras, but something about the 80s that really gripped, you know, the nation, the world, you know, and it never got its accolades to this fucking day. Even with the Grammys, with the Hall of Famers, and, you know, granted, it doesn't need that much attention, but give it some fucking respect. You know, we made you guys billions of dollars. It's bigger than ever nowadays. Hence, what we're doing to have prepared for next year is we want to let people know, man, it was a lot cooler than you were told. Mm-hmm. And if you were a part of it, you're never going to let it go. I mean, we have meet and greets, and it's like Halloween. It's like stepping back into the time capsule. You know, they got my hair, you know, and the tattoos, and the, you know, so is our Ratt, the stories, you know, I get to hear, and you know, old photos. Somebody gave me a picture of Robin. I mean, I sit there and chat with these people. You know, it's not like get in, get out. You know, right. It's like come on to the party like it used to be. You know, and I think I'm one of the only characters from that era who can pull it off. But it is nice to see, you know, a lot of my peers from the 80s, doesn't matter who you are, wingers and wasps and whoever, who are embracing this and getting going, guess what? This is really how it was. Mm-hmm. We kicked ass. We had a great time, you know. And then unfortunately, you got bands like Kicks calling it quits. Everybody's calling it quits. Unfortunately, you get older, you know, you got to put the nail in the coffin, shit's happening, unfortunately, and that's a drag. But, you know, while there are the OG guys out there, it's good to see everybody going, no, this is how it was. And that's me right now with my band Ratt. You know, I wanted to put a stake in it and claim, and I did, or we did. And, you know, I can go, yeah, man, you know, there it is. That's what you know, I know we made other records and I've made a ton of records and I love what you know, that's why I'm still in the business. I love making records. I love writing, recording, co-writing, you name it. You know, it's just what I do. But, you know, this box says it's really important because it's the real deal. It's the five guys. It's not all these other guys who are in the band, you know, or why I should put Ratt out there with not the original members. You know, I can take care of that on my own. And that's exactly what I'm doing, you know.
Well, a couple quick questions and then I'll let you roam free. And these hopefully are quick answers for you, being mindful of your time. And the first one is, last time I had the pleasure of speaking with you, you said you might write another book. Any update on that?
Update is we're talking to somebody now, and we think we found the right guy for it because I don't want it to all be about, oh, you got to compete with the dirt. I mean, that's all it was with the Simon Schuster book, my first one. It was like, no, you got to like, you know, change writers midstream. And I got another writer, Steven. He turned it into more of like a play than it's cool, but it didn't take care of the business in between. You know, there's a lot more in there. And like you said, people think they know the ins and outs of this band Ratt. Bullshit. What you've heard, bullshit. You know, a lot of this stuff, if my guys want to go out there and piss on each other, which I've been there, it's not worth it anymore. You know, what's worth it is being proud of the legacy we're about to leave. And this decade and hanging out for 40 fucking years, you know, and saying we were one of them, the original guys, you know, we respect, you know, because when I see other bands from my era, you know, like, I don't care who it is, it could be, you know, Motley or this or Winger or whatever, and see them kicking ass. It's like, fuck yes, you know, toe the world, people. It ain't gonna last forever.
The world. I see what you did there.
Bottom line. Yeah.
Next question, Mike Knuckles. What's going on with that? Still active? Still going?
Oh my God, check it out. We go do this gig this past weekend, right? Great show in Ohio. Mm-hmm. And I'm usually I have two suitcases. One stage clothes I bring with me so they never get lost. And the other one goes underneath. It's whatever else. Well, usually my Mike Knuckles goes from here, or Christy goes, here it is, because she knows how I am with those things. And so we get to the airport, and what happens? It doesn't get handed to her. She thinks I already put it in the case to go underneath the plane. I'm going to the check, and they're going, hey, you over here. And it's the third one taken. I haven't had one taken from me from security in like years. But they took it, and I'm like, oh man, the first gig without my Mike Knuckles. And what's happening with it, I'm actually making an order and going to make them available again.
Great.
So there you go. Yeah, it's a cool thing.
Are they taken because they look like brass knuckles?
You mean, yeah. And the fact that mine have studs on them and look like they'll rip your face right off your head. And that's exactly what it's made for. If somebody is bothering me real close,
yeah,
you know, and so they went, what? And then the security chick's like, he says he uses this for singing. The guy's going, no.
You just have to go like, look on YouTube. This is me using it.
I know. And it's so funny because as crazy as it is, I'm getting recognized more so now. Who knows why? Who cares? But it's almost like they're going, hey, and then they're looking at my knuckles going, no.
Wow.
So I don't know. Sometimes I can get away with things. Sometimes I can't.
Well, last question before I let you go comes from a really big fan of yours, Grog Zeichner. Grog wanted to know if you actually saw the whole movie, The Golden Child, and if so, did you like it?
I actually have The Golden Child a few times, and some elements of it are trippy because of things I'm aware of and know and stuff. But yeah, The Golden Child is pretty trippy. The little kid in there, you know, all of that. The fight scene, body talk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what does he want to know about it?
Did you see the whole thing, and did you like it?
Yes and no. And to be honest with you, when I went to the premiere, and then we go to this party before that, and it's like Eddie Murphy's there, right? And a couple of the Ratt guys were at this table, and we're like, yeah. And I go, I want to meet Ed, you know, I want to meet Eddie Murphy. And anyway, the guy comes back to me, he goes, Eddie Murphy ain't meeting nobody. And I'm like, okay, well, thanks. Tell him Steve said, I hope he enjoys our song in his movie. Thank you.
Oh, well.
Oh, there you go.
Paltrocast.